Every second, billions of messages travel across the internet. Photos, videos, bank transfers, secrets. Most people assume companies like Google, Meta, or Amazon control it all. But what if I told you the internet doesn't belong to the websites you visit? What if the real owners are people you've probably never heard of? Because behind every search, every stream, and every click, there's a hidden layer. And that's where the real power lies. The internet feels invisible, almost magical. Type a message in London. Seconds later, it appears in Tokyo. But that message doesn't travel through thin air. It travels through physical infrastructure. Millions of miles of cables, massive data centers, underground networks, and under the oceans, enormous fiber optic lines stretching across the planet. Cut those cables, and entire regions can go dark, which raises a disturbing question. Who owns them? The answer is stranger than most people realize. Because the internet isn't controlled by a single company. It's controlled by a web of infrastructure owners. Telecom giants, private investment firms, technology companies, and a handful of organizations most people never notice. The deeper you look, the more concentrated everything becomes. One cable connects to another. One network connects to another, until enormous portions of global traffic flow through surprisingly few hands. And then the story gets even bigger, because ownership isn't always obvious. A company owns a network. Another company owns that company. An investment fund owns part of both. Follow the chain far enough and the same names keep appearing. Again, and again, and again. Meanwhile, billions of people use the internet every day without ever seeing the machinery underneath. They see websites, not the roads those websites travel on. And that's the secret. The real power of the internet isn't in creating content. It's in owning the infrastructure everyone else depends on. The roads, the bridges, the cables, the choke points. Because if you own the roads, you don't need to own every destination. Everyone comes through you anyway. That's why governments monitor these networks. Why corporations spend billions building new ones. And why control over internet infrastructure has quietly become one of the most valuable assets on Earth. So who are the secret owners of the internet? Not one company, not one billionaire, not one government. The answer is something even more powerful. A small network of infrastructure giants whose names rarely make headlines, yet whose cables, facilities, and networks carry the digital lives of billions. Most people think the internet is made of websites, but websites are only the surface. The real internet is hidden beneath oceans, buried underground, and locked inside buildings few people will ever enter. And the people who own those pathways, they may be some of the most powerful people in the world, without anyone knowing their names.